you'd imagine they are pretty safe. What they need to make sure of, it definitely happens today, is for Scotland not to beat Switzerland later on. But you would imagine, given that the 4 best third-place teams also progressed to the round of 16, that you doubt 6 points isn't going to be enough. So you can see it there. Germany on 6 points. Switzerland, who are in action against the Scots a little bit later on, in second. Hungary yet to get off the mark. What do you make of that, Kevin?
Not spectacular, I suppose, like it was against Scotland, but very professional. Second half, they just were able to make as many subs as they wanted, keep people fresh, and take off a couple of the younger players. They, just a good professional, solid performance. Never really looked like they were in any danger of not winning the game.
Yeah, you even look at them there, James. That's essentially it in pictures, what Kevin just said.
Yeah, it was a very comfortable second half, especially. I just felt like for the first half an hour of the game, Hungary gave as good as they got, and then you could see the pattern just taking place where Hungary struggled to get out. Germany were dominating the ball, and that just continued into the second half. And like Kevin said, they were able to rest players, take players off, keep them fresh. But just overall, just a comfortable game for them.
Nice smiles, Lisa, but it definitely looks like it's just a case of job done, let's move on.
Yeah, and for the teams that think that they'll be in the business end of the competition, that's very much what the early games are about. But what I really like about this Germany team is they're probably the one team in the competition that each player is absolutely perfect for the position that they're playing. He plays that 4-2-3-1, and you look across the back four: Mittelstädt, Tah, Rudiger and Kimmich, all absolutely brilliant defenders, but all really good with the ball at their feet, able to start play. Those little clip balls in, we've seen Kimmich and Mittelstädt doing it all day. And then you have Andrik, the dog, as James calls him, but in the centre of midfield, doing all that dirty work, breaking up the play, and that freeing up Toni Kroos then to be the beautiful footballer that he is. He's like a Rolls Royce in there, just spraying balls around, controlling the game. And then you have the energy and the 1v1s and the creativity up front with Wirtz, Musiala and Havertz. And then you look at the quality on the bench that they have to bring in. I just think there's a lovely balance to this team, and they're all playing in the right positions, and there's just so much quality.
Can I come in on that, Kevin? Because it's funny that Lisa should bring up that point, because Ilkay Gundogan obviously got the goal there this evening. There are many questions within Germany about whether or not he should be in the team. Lothar Matthäus, their World Cup winning captain from 1990, he's one of the ones who's come out and said he's not right. He's not a right fit.
They feel that he doesn't show his best on the international stage, that he's better at club football. And today he did. You know, he showed exactly what he's about. He gets into great positions, gets important goals. Very important goal for them today. I think on the international stage you probably don't see that, because it's stop-start. You play a couple of games, you're gone again. Whereas at club football you see it because it's week to week, and he comes up with important goals, important situations, assists as the season goes on. He's not that midfielder who's going to go on it. He's not Toni Kroos. He's not going to get on, dictate the game and make those passes, but he will be the one who drifts into the box. Frank Lampard-esque from years gone by, will get important goals in important situations.
He's a different type of player. He, in that attacking midfield role, or the old number 10 role as we used to call it, you're almost like the linchpin between midfield and the forwards, that connection. But what he's really good at is being the overload player coming from midfield. When the front three push the defenders back, he's that player who comes in and adds, and he's so effective at it. And he was really good at it today. And that's what I think is really good, the way Nagelsmann has created the system for these. He's using the system that gets the best out of these players. And he was really effective at getting into the pockets of space and being able to cause the disruption in Hungary's really tight and compact defence.
That was something actually you kept remarking on, about the way he kept ghosting into those positions.
Yeah, he's such a clever footballer. Like he's such a good footballer. Like if you look for the goal, he's someone who just arrives in the box, kind of no one really sees him or seems to pick him up. He just goes in and the great positions, and he comes up time and time again with big goals, and that's no coincidence. When you're doing it on a regular basis, getting on them positions, and then when he's in there, he's got the composure and the quality they finish. So yeah, he's a fantastic footballer.
You're not agreeing with Mr. Mateus. One of the criticisms was that they couldn't perhaps maybe get the combination right with Musiala and Wirtz up front.
Well, it seems to be. They seem to found a way now because they've been brilliant, and he's just someone in that 10 role who just kind of knit it all together. Gundogan, you know, he's just such a clever footballer where he's just always in the right positions, and then for the 1-2s and around the box that they obviously they love to do, he's the perfect fit.
You know what he's got as well? Drifts into great positions, but he's got an engine. He can run all day. He helps defensively as well as getting into that box, right into the 6-yard box to either score goals or create a goal like he did today.
They won't be relying on third place, but we can confirm that Germany have for certain now qualified for the round of 16, and it is courtesy of that goal by the man we were talking about a little while ago, İlkay Gundogan, in the second half. Obviously it was the second goal. Yeah,
look, it's such a simple goal. Like, it's just obviously Cruz first time pass and the ball's put out wide, then it's just a cutback, and again he's in the right area. Like, he's always on the move. Like, just here, like, obviously the first one's clear, but they recycle, comes out to Cruz, and he's just like, look, just that first time pass, just always head on a swivel. It's just not wide, and it's cut back. Everyone goes on, it's cut back, and there he is again in the right position at the right time. And like I said, he's got the quality. They put it away when it comes to him.
Some lovely team passing there as well, Lisa.
Yeah, I actually love this ball from Mittelstadt because he actually cuts it through the two nearest Hungarian players and just finds that pocket of space where Gundogan has come into. And it's such a clever ball. The first ball, obviously, from Kroos, but this is, you know, the touches and the quality of the passes. But there was very little space and they're able to find it. But I don't think you can underestimate the quality of that ball across from Mittelstadt in that goal.
For all the talking we've done about what a professional performance it's been from Germany, when they were only a goal up in that second half, Hungary went very, very close, and they did have another chance at the end. Yeah,
they did. It was 1-0, and there was nothing special about this move from Hungary. They didn't show us a whole lot in the second half. It's like they were just trying to keep their goal difference down, but nothing wrong with it. Long ball clear. Salah does very well here. He's 2v1. Great running and a fabulous ball into the box. And Varga, he gets up, he times his header right, but doesn't hit the target. This one, I think Ronnie, call it Adam, the burly centre forward. Let's Neuer know he's in the game here. Shouts for a penalty, but that was the best of Hungary in the second half. As I said, they were better in the first half, created a little bit more. Second half, I know we're discussing it, we're wondering, for them, they have Scotland their last game. Yeah. And are they thinking, listen, 3 points and keep our goal difference good today and we might get through in third place? Or do we open up and try to get a point today and maybe concede another few goals and be totally ruled out in that last game, no matter what we do? So it felt like that in the second half, that they just were hedging their best.
It comes down to when you do create the big chances like that, which I guess the top teams don't come around too often, you got to take them. With a header at 1-0, like, he's got to take the chance, and then obviously Germany got the quality to punish him.
Is it too harsh to say that it did, though, show some vulnerabilities within Germany?
No, I just think, look, Hungary's no mugs. They're a decent side. Up until we beat them recently, I think they were 14 games unbeaten. So, look, they got a bit about them. I just think the game was that comfortable for Germany, where maybe their minds wasn't as switched on as it has been, but look, it was still a very comfortable enough afternoon for them.
And particularly, we've been talking up, as everybody have, Musiala and his performance, but you wanted to point out not just the fancy looking stuff, but the actual work rate that he gets through, Lisa.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think this is when you think about the age of this player and the maturity that he shows in different examples, you know, he has that ability, as we already know, to really change the point of attack and bring players in and break lines. Again, finding that little bit of space, driving forward, quality ball inside. And only for Havertz just doesn't quite make a good ball pass into Gundogan. Again, 2 feet, dribbling inside the penalty area. Every defender's absolute nightmare. Right foot, left foot, takes the ball through his legs. You know, he's just a very difficult player, and then being able to, as we said earlier, get into the pockets of space, and we can see he hadn't finished. He should have finished that chance, but here you see him working back and do the dirty work for the team, and again back up in and playing in that area, as we said. But what I really liked about him today, for him and Wirtz, was their ability and their willingness to come back and do the defensive work for the team. And that's what I really like. And I alluded to it earlier about Germany in possession in that 4-2-3-1. He has his best players in those positions and it works. But out of possession, they all work so hard and they have it in both ways on the pitch. And that's why I think there's just something really interesting about this German team.
And when you're talking about balance, I mean, you talked before about the importance of you only get to see Musiala snake in and out like that when you have somebody doing the rest of the donkey work in the middle of the field.
Yeah, look, I spoke to them about him before the game. Like, I really like this lad.
This is Robert Andrich.
Yeah, like, you can just see here, like, he just anticipates danger so well. Like, he does the dirty side of the game. He's just there breaking up play, which allows obviously the more flair players to go and produce. But like, he shows here too, he's got a bit of technical ability about him. Like, that's no easy feat. That's a tough skill. But just here, like, he's just anticipates danger so well. And look, if he was English, someone might buy him for 100 million. So maybe he might get a bit more credit then.
This is for anybody who missed this. Is James's belief that Declan Rice is way overrated. But when we see those last two little pieces, does it come back to that word that Lisa kept using in relation to Germany? Balance.
Yeah, they have different types of players who all know their role. What was really good for them as well today, the two young lads, Musiala and Wirtz, both about 70 minutes. They've played a lot of minutes for young players and they got to be taken off. More important games ahead, hopefully, for Germany in the tournament. They got rested, came off without any bangs or bruises, it looked like. No injuries coming off, just a chance to give them a rest and keep them fresh for the rest of it.
And obviously in tournament football, that's massive, as we've already seen with so many other teams.
They've got a strong squad, a strong bench. They're not weak in it, but those are two special players and it's important to protect them and keep them fresh, and that will pay dividends. You know, they didn't have a tough game today. That'll pay dividends as the tournament goes on. This
comes back to... Before the game, you were talking about how many veterans there were sort of further back the field for Germany to be able to protect the likes of Musiala and Wirtz.
Yeah, well, like if you've got a solid spine or the solid back end of your team, and then you've got lads that you can just ping the ball forward to as a midfielder. I always loved having fast, pacey forwards ahead of you. You could just play the ball into and let them go and do the running. But there's that lovely dynamic about them, and as you said, they're so efficient. They don't overwork anything. And that's what I like. They do it simply and as efficiently as possible. So they're always trying to conserve energy in every possible way. I think it's a really key point that Kevin makes about the lads getting off and keeping them fresh. Because in tournament football, I think teams that are going to be expected to be at the business end, they do approach it differently. They start out and they're pacing themselves to grow into the tournament. They want to peak at the business end. But when you have teams that have to throw the kitchen sink at it early doors, that's where it can look like the better teams are not quite at it in the early rounds. But that's just because they just need to do what they need to do to win the games and get through the group, and ideally finish as high as possible to get a better game in round of 16. So I think so far what I've seen from Germany, it's just been perfectly managed. They've got themselves into position where they can make those early changes. They also have the quality on the bench and they have different solutions. Like you look at Fulkrug, he offers something completely different to Havertz and Chan and Sané, and they've just got so many different options. It's going to be so interesting to see what they do and what their story is as they progress through this tournament.
Well, the story today got the 3 points, 2 goals. Probably should have had more, even in the second half again.
Yeah, I don't know. They didn't go out of their way to try score. They've plenty of people forward. A couple of goals, not clear cut. I can't remember. Oh, we're looking at chances now, and we'll soon find out, Joanne. But I can't remember too many instances where I said, "Oh, that was a bad miss." You know, things are flashing across the goal. Nothing. There's no one-on-ones. There's no the Hungary chance, the header. That was a chance. But Germany, apart from their 2 goals, didn't have those. It was just an efficient performance where you felt if they needed to, if they had to. Like Fulcrum came on, and if they were needing a goal, they'd have been putting balls in the box for him, but they didn't need to do that today. He looked, I don't think he got too many touches of the ball when he came on. He didn't have any chances, but that was the style of game it was. But if they were going for goals, if they needed it, they'd have been using him differently. So it was just a performance of efficiency, sort of the word you use with Germany, I suppose. They didn't have to overextend themselves or overexert themselves to get 3 points.
You always felt if they needed to go up a gear today, they could have.
Yeah, it was just a professional performance when let's just get the job done.
Yeah.
And it keeps the winning momentum going.
How about Sané when he came on? Have you been impressed with him the last couple of games?
He's a very frustrating player. Like he's got so much quality and so much brilliance, but sometimes his decision making, sometimes you just want to shake him because there's so much more on him. Like there was a late counter attack, and it was just a lazy pass outside the foot and just give it away. And I think there's so much more on him. But look, he's a top player and he can produce moments of quality.
He's not bad to have coming on in the second half either.